Tonight, the Great Falls City Commission tackles a non-discrimination ordinance, what we can expect from the 3-hour meeting.
Plus, a developing situation we're following more COVID cases and a network outage at Great Falls Public Schools.
And later, with volleyball picking up again this week, how players feel about playing without fans.
From Montana's news leader, this is the MTN 530 News.
Thanks for joining us on the MTN 530 News here on KRTV. I'm Tim McGonigal.
And I'm Hallie Schwinnard. What is expected to be a long and possibly contentious meeting to discuss a local LGBTQ plus group's request for non-discrimination ordinance is just getting underway.
Great Falls City Commissioners have scheduled public comments for 3 hours. MTN's Coulter Anstedt is live at the meeting. Coulter, do we know if commissioners will take a vote tonight?
Tim, they could. They could vote tonight after public comments are made, or they could choose to table the vote until a future date. Let me go ahead and step out of the way now and give you a look at the line of people waiting to get into the commission chamber. There are probably about a dozen people here in line waiting to get in because of the coronavirus. Not everyone can get in at the same time. There are probably also about the same amount of people inside the commission chamber right now waiting to hear what is going to be said. If you're not familiar with the backstory here, let me get you caught up. Discussion about the NDO began back in July when the Great Falls LGBTQ plus community center presented a draft version of the NDO to city commissioners for requesting that city commissioners pass and adopt the ordinance here in the city. The center claims the state laws, anti-discrimination laws, do not provide enough protection in the housing community for the LGBTQ plus community. As we've reported, the city attorney researched this issue and ultimately concluded and reported to city commissioners the state laws do appear to be adequate and the NDO is not necessary. When I spoke about an hour ago to a member of the center's board, he tells me he is hopeful heading into tonight's meeting.
I think the commissioners are aware of the things that are needed in our community. I think they know what we believe the right thing to do. Whether that is where we end up or not is always difficult to tell.
I will, of course, have coverage of tonight's meeting on KRTV News at 10 o'clock. For now, though, live at the Civic Center in Great Falls, Coulter Anstedt, MTN News.
All right, thanks, Coulter. Well, Malmstrom Air Force Base officials are one step closer to starting a long-awaited project. The U.S. Air Force announced Northrop Grumman Corporation has been awarded the contract to upgrade aging weapons systems at bases, including Malmstrom Air Force Base. The work will replace the current intercontinental ballistic missile systems in 3 installations. Construction begins as early as 2023 at F.E. Warren Air Force Base in Wyoming. Then it moves on to Malmstrom near Great Falls and finally Minot Air Force Base in North Dakota. Great Falls Chamber of Commerce President and CEO Shane Etzweiler told MTN this was big news for the Great Falls area. We've reached out to Malmstrom Air Force Base for comment. We'll hear more from officials tomorrow night at 5:30. Great Falls Public Schools officials confirmed 2 more students tested positive for COVID-19. The health department and school nurses are performing contact tracing. We'll have more information for you tonight at 10 from Superintendent Tom Moore. He told MTN News that they're also working to fix a district-wide network outage. A student parent sent this to MTN after receiving the email from school officials this morning. It states the outage will impact remote learning. MTN News reached out to Superintendent Moore, who said they are investigating what may have caused the disruption. He said they have some remote learning capabilities and they are working hard to get the system back up and running. There's no other information at this time, but we will, of course, update you as we learn more.
Governor Steve Bullock filed a lawsuit today against the Postmaster General over what he calls unlawful changes to mail delivery. Bullock's lawsuit says the Postmaster General's actions have harmed Montanans by impeding the flow of mail, including medical prescriptions, utility bills, and other essential communications. The suit names recent changes to Postal Service policies, such as eliminating overtime pay for certain workers and changing how election mail is classified and charged. The suit also says that under the Postmaster General's orders, the Postal Service has removed mail drop boxes and dismantled large sorting machines in Montana. Governor Bullock is asking that the court declare his policy changes unlawful, as well as immediately require steps to undo the actions. Well, we had record cold last night in Great Falls. Meteorologist Grant Garland here to tell us more.
That's right, Hallie. Good evening, everyone. We did see a record beat here last night. Temperatures were able to get down to around 28 degrees in the Electric City that were previously held back in 1962, right at 32. 29 in Lewistown last night, 33 in Havre, 31 in Glasgow, as well as in Cutbank, and 33 in Helena. Let's take a look outside right now. Blue skies are looking at me. Look at that. Helena 57 degrees, Hayes 45, Lewistown 51, and Fort Benton 57. Elsewhere, seeing 56 in Great Falls and 54 in Glasgow. Now, overall, with our winds, we are seeing only 8-mile-an-hour winds in Helena, 15 though up along Havre and along the High Line. We have been looking at a gorgeous day today, and well, we're seeing that the winds up in the atmosphere out of the north are driving all the smoke plumes down towards the south. Overall, we've been looking at beautiful skies, a few clouds out towards Glasgow, but no problems there. Tonight, get ready for another cold night, 34 degrees in Helena and 37 in Great Falls. Don't go away. I'll be back in a few minutes with your full forecast, but for now, back to you.
Looking to remember and honor some Montana veterans who died in the line of duty in Vietnam, MTN's John Amy explains.
A memorial honoring those from Anaconda who served in Vietnam and those who didn't come back from the war was installed recently at Kennedy Commons Park.
When I first seen it, it brought tears to my eyes because I knew a few of these guys.
The names of 8 young men from Anaconda who died in that war are engraved on the 10-ton black marble obelisk. Veterans who survived that war remember the sacrifice of their fallen classmates.
That class of 66 took a beating, and this is a real memorial to them and that class.
You almost feel guilty that you came back and some of these people didn't. You know, it's a hard thing.
Anaconda Vietnam veteran Mickey Nazer is credited for starting this project to get the memorial built over a year ago. Through grants and donations, the Anaconda Vietnam Era Veterans Memorial Association was able to raise the $100,000 needed for the project. For the veterans of Vietnam, it's a war that stays with them.
You never come home totally. I don't know how to explain that to the normal individual, but you're just someplace you never leave.
The old veterans say they're happy that this memorial is set up here at the Kennedy Commons, a place where they used to play, like these young people, long before the war, when they were young.
These men here are us. They were young kids playing on this commons. Some came home. Why did I come home and Pat didn't? You know, but it's one of those things. It's a war. There's no pretty war, and we hope that we don't ever have to go that route again.
In Anaconda, John Amy, MTN News.
A local hospital now has hundreds of thousands of dollars more to help improve health care for women and children. Benefice's annual Mayfair Golf Tournament and Gala fundraiser raised nearly $500,000 for the hospital's Women's and Children's Center. The center is currently under construction. Once it's complete, many of the services women and children need will be located there. The center will also have space for classes, space for medical students to work, and an outdoor therapy space for kids.
Consolidating all of that into one center in one building is truly going to revolutionize the way that women access healthcare in our community and just improve our continuity of care as a whole.
And the center is expected to be complete next year. We're coming up with AA volleyball starting up again this week, how players feel about playing without any fans in the stands.
From Montana's news leader, you're watching the MTN 530 News.
This weekend, Class AA football and volleyball have the go-ahead to start competition, and MTN's Isaiah Dunk tells us how the Great Falls High and CMR volleyball teams will get their first taste of unique home court advantage.
COVID-19 rules from Great Falls Public Schools, Yellowstone County, and Gallatin County, there won't be any visiting fans at Eastern AA volleyball games this fall, at least for now. And those half-empty gyms are a setting the Great Falls High and CMR volleyball teams have been working on.
I shut the music off. There's nobody in the gym except for us, and I reminded them that this is what it's going to be like, and I stopped talking. And literally the gym was just ridiculously dead silent.
Of course, at home games, complete silence probably won't be the situation, but the players are recognizing the benefits of that kind of practice.
Our coach has talked about how quiet the gym's going to be without all our fans and stuff, so we're trying to play without music and kind of get used to it so it's not so awkward when we do play. It helps us talk more and communicate on the court.
And when the Bison and Rustlers go on the road in the Billings and Bozeman areas without their home fans, that also creates a different scenario. The only cheering happening is against you.
I think it is going to be weird, right? So the home court advantage is going to be on a different level this year than any year before. So I think just we do a lot of pressure situations, pressure serving, pressure points, and where we need to score a game point situation, things like that. And as of right now, that's all we can really do, I think, until we get into that first away game, really.
But Coach Hiller at CMR said the situation will actually be more familiar than you'd think.
Our girls are used to creating the atmosphere themselves. They have to bring their energy because the fans aren't always here in droves like that, and so they have to create that language and that energy that we're looking in the gym. And so I don't know if it'll be as big a deal for our girls. They play this game for a whole nother entire reason. They just like to play the game.
In Great Falls, Isaiah Dunk, MTN Sports.
In Butte this Friday, there will be a workshop at St. Patrick's Cemetery to teach people how to clean and repair headstones at the historic cemetery off South Montana Street. Monuments Conservator Jonathan Apple from Washington, D.C. will lead the workshop.
All right, good information, Tim. We're looking at a high pressure building again, allowing for us to dry out. Don't go away. Your 7-day forecast is coming up next.
Storm Tracker weather starts now with Grant Garland.
Oh, welcome back, everyone. I hope that you have had a great Tuesday. We had a very cold night last night. Temperatures were dropping down to around 28 degrees in Great Falls. We beat the record that was previously set back in 1962 when it was 32 degrees, also the same year that Spider-Man made his first debut in a comic. How about that? Temperatures right now, 56 degrees in Great Falls, 59 in Helena, 61 in Cutbank. Heading out towards the east, we're seeing 54 in both Glasgow and Jordan, 49 though in Lewistown. Now, even though our winds aren't whipping right now, we did see a breezy day earlier. 21-mile-per-hour winds gusting in Great Falls, 20 in Helena, 26 though in Havern, 32 down towards Dillon. Now, we did receive a good dose of rain yesterday for a lot of us. We picked up almost half an inch here in Great Falls, over half an inch in Lewistown. Head on out to Jordan, you guys got over an inch of rain. We desperately needed this and we thankfully got it. Even though we only received 15 inches in Helena, at least it was something. So I know that kind of bummed some folks out, but we did get some moisture in the area. And our air quality, thanks to the rain, we have been able to see our good air quality for the entire day. And that smoke plume has been able to push down further towards the south, all thanks to our winds from the north. Over the last 3 hours, we've been looking at really clear skies for most of us. A few clouds out here trying to make their way towards Glasgow. I mean, you can't beat that with a stick. Looks great outside, and it feels, I don't know, it's not chilly, it's not warm, it's kind of comfortable if you ask me. We are going to, though, start to dry back out tomorrow. Now, we're only going to see 29% humidity at our driest point here in Great Falls, so that's the good news there. And our temperatures aren't going to be in the moderate zone either. We're going to be looking at great temperatures tomorrow, as well as our winds for our fire variable forecast. Our winds aren't going to be picking up. We're going to be seeing only 5 to 10 miles an hour for generally everyone, possibly 20-mile-per-hour winds in Jordan. But for the entire state, everything looks relatively good from what we have seen over the last week. We are looking at nice conditions, all thanks to a high pressure that is really going to influence the entire northwestern part of the states. We're going to see this allowing for our warmer temperatures to move in. We're not going to be drastically, though, seeing these temperatures spike in a day. We're going to be looking at 70 degrees around tomorrow, as well as around 76 then, and then 80. So it's going to be, in steps, so to speak. So 70 tomorrow, 75 on Thursday, 81 on Friday, 78 on Saturday before we warm back up to 87 on Sunday, and then we'll start dropping off again. You can always stay weather aware by following me at Meteorologist Grant Garland on Facebook and downloading that free KRTV app. It is free and ever present. We are going to be looking at temperatures dropping down close to freezing tonight for some of us. Lewistown 33 degrees, 38 in Havre, 37 in Great Falls, 34 in Helena, and 34 in Jordan. Overall, tomorrow we're going to be warming up to around 70 degrees, so it will be nice and comfortable for both us as well as Helena. 72 in Havre and 70 in Glasgow. As far as the next 3 days go, we are going to be looking at us continuing to dry out as our temperatures warm back up. We won't have to worry, though, about our winds really gusting. 75 on Thursday, sunny skies, as well as on Friday. We're going to be looking at warming up this weekend to 87 on Sunday, but it's going to be feeling really nice. We're not going to really see our chances for any clouds moving in until Monday. And then on Tuesday, well, 77 degrees with only a 20% chance of an isolated shower. Hallie?
Still to come, it's been a long time coming, a major victory for the Harlem football team. Details next.
From Montana's news leader, you're watching the MTN 530 News.
Well, there's a lot to celebrate in Harlem after the Wildcat football team pulled out an emotional win on Friday.
Tom Wiley explains just what makes this victory so special.
The Harlem Wildcats posed for this photo after Friday night's win over Poplar, but it wasn't just any win.
Oh man, I had parents coming up to me crying after the game, you know, telling me thank you and all this stuff, and I was like, well, I only have 12 kids that are eligible to play. So we went out there with a 12-man team, and that just shows you like the heart, the dedication, and the talent that they have. And
it was Harlem's first win on the field in 5 years.
No, some of them hadn't won since junior high, like I'd said, and so you could see like the emotions coming out in the kids, and that all the hard work that we had put in, and all the stuff that I'd preached to them all summer about how they're just as deserving as anybody else to win. You know,
Harlem was once a proud football program, competing for conference titles before the turn of the century, but has since fallen on hard times. Football can be an afterthought to basketball, wrestling, and cross country.
The focus of the kids changed from wanting to be all-around athletes, playing football, running track, playing basketball, or wrestling, to wanting to specialize.
Azure played for Harlem in the early 90s. Now he's in his first year as head coach. He knows that one win doesn't make a season, but he says it's sure a good place to start.
I just want to be competitive every single night we step on the field. I used to get tired of watching 70-0 and, you know, stuff like that. It's hard to watch. It's hard to be around. But if you have kids that are out there competing and having fun, I mean, that's the reason why you coach.
Tom Wiley, MTN Sports.
And on top of the historic win, senior running back Andrew Rasmussen rushed for a school record 308 yards and 5 touchdowns. Harlem hosts Wolf Point on Friday. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
Well, we are going to be looking at a cold night tonight, all thanks to a high pressure that's building in, and that will continue to do so over the next several days, allowing for our temperatures to warm up us ever so slightly as we head into the middle part of the work week. Now, temperatures tonight dropping down to right around 37 degrees here in Great Falls, 34 in Helena, 35 in Hayes, 38 in Havre, and 30 as well as in Cutbank. Now, looking at Butte, 27 and Bozeman, 28, so a lot colder for you all. As we head throughout the day tomorrow, well, temperatures are going to be right around 40 degrees, so you might need an extra layer, especially for the bus stop forecast as we are looking at sunny skies. Quickly warming up, though, to 64 degrees by 1 p.m. and 68 by 4 p.m. We won't have to worry about any really breezy conditions. Overall, tomorrow's highs, 70 degrees in Great Falls, as well as in Helena, 77 in Missoula, 67 in Hayes, and 68 in Jordan. As far as our work week goes, well, we are going to be looking at sunny skies and temperatures ever so slightly again warming up through Friday at 81 degrees. We will see a very warm day on Sunday, 87. But the good news is that we aren't going to be looking at really any oppressive temperatures. By Monday, 86 degrees with mostly sunny skies. We will see a 20% chance of an isolated shower, though. But the real term is, okay, well, then what about the following week after that? Well, here's the fun part to some. We are looking at warmer temperatures that will be moving in above average for this time of year. And as far as how dry we will, well, we're going to continue to stay pretty much dry over the next 2 weeks.
All right, check this out. A study of mice could help astronauts protect against muscle and bone density loss when in space. The experiment compared 40 mice on Earth and 40 mice in space that were genetically manipulated for muscle growth.
The mice in space lacked a molecular signaling pathway that researchers hope could prevent muscle and bone loss. Researchers found the animals with the treatment maintained and even increased muscle and bone mass. All right.
Never know what they're going to send to space these days.
Yeah.
I know. I'll send anything up there. All right. We'll see you back here tonight at 10.